Well, it's still a big mystery when it comes to the Canadian Football League and the 2021 season, as after, with the global pandemic with COVID-19 and the government not cooperating with the Canadian Football League on their request for funding to have the bubble model, the 2020 season has been cancelled. However, there's another unique idea that the CFL has done that I'll talk about when it comes to one of my favorite weekends of the year, Grey Cup weekend. As obviously with no football in the Canadian Football League in 2020, and meaning there won't be a championship game happening this season, no festivals and all that, the CFL has announced that they'll do it virtually this year, as many other things are being done these days. I know the other unique idea that the CFL has done that I made a video about it. Personally, I'm not going to spend money on it unless someone by chance gifted to me on my behalf with the at your name on the Grey Cup fan base. Although I did sign up for it, and I'll just talk about the press release. It's titled that the CFL announces Grey Cup Unite to celebrate the game, as this is what will replace the festival of the big game itself, and I'm sure I'll make a video talk about actually missing the Grey Cup, as I already did with the Labor Day and Labor Day rematch. But the Canadian Football League fans are invited to come together for Grey Cup Unite, a free and safe celebration of our game, November 16th to 22nd. As you recall, this year originally it was scheduled that the Grey Cup was going to be held, the 108th Grey Cup was going to be held in Regina, Saskatchewan, although things were looking a little not good for me to be going this season for the big reason that, Saskatchewan is a smaller city in Canada and have a rabid fan base that strongly supports the CFL, that there's a problem with getting hotel rooms at a decent price and also not knowing the weather. And I know that flying domestically in Canada is a lot more expensive, especially during Grey Cups as it's packed flights, but I didn't think I was going to be going to the Grey Cup game this year unless I won, because how much rooms are going to go for, and I might have had a Hail Mary, no football pun intended, on potentially staying with some family. But when family has pets and I have animal allergies, that could be a problem. But getting back to this is what the quote by Commissioner Randy Ambrogi is: the pandemic cannot defeat the spirit of the fans or the power of the game to bring them together. That's the quote by Randy Ambrogi. I'll put this in the description. That the message we're sending today, announcing Grey Cup Unite, a week of virtual and safely distant events that will reconnect our fans with our league and with each other. We may not be able to gather for a traditional Grey Cup week, but we could still stand united. Alright. And of course, I'll still represent in my red somehow. There was an email invite that I got, so I signed up for it, and there'll be events coming as the more details come announced. I think they would start making those events known, I think November 5th, I think it said on the email, to confirm my subscription. But some of the traditional things that will still happen, of course there will not be the coaches conference, because that happens on that week with the two participating teams of the Grey Cup, and there's always that sex question that's always asked about sex of the game. I think there was one year, it was 2004, when Mike Pinball Clemens, and he's definitely a character and great ambassador for the Canadian Football League and the Toronto Argonauts, and hopefully whenever this ends, and the fact that he is the president of the Toronto Argonauts, that can maybe help bolster that market, as it's the biggest market in the country, but don't have as much CFL. But I think he had a strange answer about sex of the game, and it's all about the superstitions and that. It's like, oh, if you don't, but if you do, well. But anyway, the CFL and its 9 member clubs, including the Stampeders, which is my team, of course, and his broadcast partners with TSN, or RDS, which is the French version of TSN, will spend a week delivering special events and programming online in social distancing environments. And this is what it will entail. The Grey Cup promises exciting new twists on traditional Grey Cup events, along with some brand new ideas. So you could say this time, especially when there is no football, that hopefully it's the time for the league to maybe look at other ways to innovate. And I would say the biggest one being obviously find a new business model so that they're not as reliant on fans and be able to find more ways to generate revenue. I know Randy Ambrosi has also been more focused on, there's hit or miss when it comes to trying to expand the interest globally. And I know we had the global rule where, for example, with the Calgary Stampeders, we had Andrés Saldalgo, who was a player from Mexico in the LIFL, I think is that football league in Mexico, that we had a player that can be on the roster as a global, but there's still some parts in the markets, I would say, in Canada, especially Vancouver and Toronto, big one, in Montreal, I think, hopefully with more stable ownership and in fact the team being somewhat relevant again, that maybe we can get those bigger markets again. The smaller cities definitely support the league, but there is going to be a fan state of league where Commissioner Randy Ambrosi will kick off the Grey Cup Unite on the Monday, November 16th, where the special virtual town hall will he updates the. So we'll know then about maybe plans for the 2021 season, because I had that 3 Down Nation article talking about Edmonton potentially being a bubble city for 2021, but that also means that are they assuming there won't be any fans? And hopefully by next summer things will be somewhat manageable, or at least there'll be some numbers are more encouraging, and there'll be less restrictions where we can at least go to the game even if it's not a full stadium. But something's better than nothing. And there's the head coaches conference. The league's 9 head coaches, so maybe we'll talk to Dave. The league's 9 head coaches in a group of 3 will be showcased in 3 media availabilities on the Wednesday, November 18th. So who knows? Although the challenge would be is doing this. It's probably going to be during the day, during the week at work, but maybe somehow I could sneak that in and talk with Dave. And then the next one is Diversity is Strength, Racial and Justice Roundtable, which I know that's also been another thing that's been popping up in recent years. On Wednesday, November 18th, the CFL and CFL Players Association will present a roundtable featuring alumni, coaching personnel, and current players as they discuss personal experiences with prejudice and discrimination. This event will be hosted by Gemini-nominated broadcaster and the host of the Waggle, Donovan Bennett. So that'll be another thing to look forward to. And then, one thing that you've been seeing on CFL this year is they've been talking about all-decade teams and positions and that. Well, it mentions here all-decade awards instead of the usual CFL awards, which is always awarded on the Thursday night, where you recognize the talent for that particular season. Well, on Thursday, November 19th, fans will be treated to a special show that will reveal the 2010 to 2020 all-decade team presented by Leo Vegas and selected by CFL fans, including interviews with players named to the team. The show will also announce the game of the decade presented by Dr. Ecker Giuseppe's Pizzeria, which is one of the sponsors during the playoffs, and will also be voted online leading up to the Grey Cup Unite. I wonder, there's definitely going to be some Calgary Stampeders that are going to be on this all-decade team. I would put Bo as my quarterback. I would put that vote in there as well. And then Player and Media Day. Top CFL players will be available to the media also on that Thursday. And then it says championing the game presented by AU Virtual Business Summit. The Business Summit will be on Tuesday, November 17th, where we're examining key issues facing Canadian businesses at this critical time. As we know, innovation in the new economy, preparing Canada's recovery, presented by MNP, the Morris Penny Financial Group, and embracing diversity inclusion. Participants will include Bruce Kotson, managing partner, Round 13, and a former Dragon's Den investor and co-founder of Lava Life. United Global Head Diversity Group Inclusion, TD Bank, and the Head of Talent, TD Bank, as well as Trent Chan, the Chief Marketing Officer, SVP Marketing E-Commerce, Harry Rosen. That Harry Rosen, the clothing guy. And then it says more details will be shared between now and Grey Cup Unite. And of course, I'll put the link in the description, and if you want to sign up yourself. But it also adds that, frankly, we hated it last month when Labor Day came and went, and all we could do was think about football and miss live football. And I did make those videos talking about missing Labor Day, and since 1995, I only missed 3 Labor Day games, including this year. It's definitely a big staple in my calendar and my ritual. And so we vowed that come November, we will virtually host Grey Cup Week. It will definitely be different. Well, the part about not traveling to gather with my fellow CFL fans. I always wear my red, no matter if we're in it or not. Take it in sightseeing of the city, locally, or wherever the game happens to be. And of course, the game itself on Sunday, and I always get the excitement who's going to be the halftime act. My dream halftime act actually would be Rush. I would love Rush to perform at a Grey Cup one year, open up with Tom Sawyer. But they've also retired, and I think they had the opportunity to have that happen for the 100th Grey Cup in Toronto, but that is what it is. It also depends on availability, and as a Grey Cup Unite, we'll focus not only on what we missed, but what we have a tremendous, bright future. So, yeah, I'll put the article to this in the description. But yeah, what do you think about the CFL still trying to keep the Grey Cup spirit alive this year? The fact that we do not have a 2020 season at all, and this year's been crappy, and a bag of stinky diapers, or whatever analogy you can do it to try to keep it PG-13 rated as possible, to keep the video as friendly as possible. This year has sucked for sure, but this would be something that I would still be looking forward to. I know that another thing I always generally say is I don't start thinking or feeling of Christmas until after the Grey Cup, and even then that's still a month out, but I know I'm going to move that up a little earlier to November 12th, as the unwritten rule is wait till after Remembrance Day in Canada, for obvious reasons. But yeah, what do you think of everything, and are you going to plan to take part and check it out? Hopefully this will be the only unique time, then hopefully next season that it'll be in Hamilton, as it's still scheduled to be in Hamilton, Ontario next season. Hopefully we'll have a full season, and hopefully maybe I'll actually go to Hamilton for the Grey Cup in 2021, depending on where things are at, for everything, both personally and obviously around. And I mean, I've only been to Ontario once, and that was when I went to the 105th Grey Cup in Ottawa for the Grey Cup then. And despite the heartbreaking finish, that was a great week for me to go to Ottawa, and I also never been to Hamilton, and that's where the CFL Hall of Fame is. And of course, maybe I'll find a way to go to Niagara Falls for a day too, because I know that's the closest community to Niagara Falls, and that's one, landmark of Canada. And that's what me been going to Grey Cups has allowed me to do, is see more landmarks throughout the country. And hopefully I'll, still have more opportunity to do so in the future, go across the country. As, we're a big country, and, unfortunately it's also very expensive to fly, to do it, several times throughout the year, but it is what it is. So I'd say, what do you think of everything? So as I say, if you want to follow along with this Calgary sports fan's journey, home of the Flames, Hitmen, Roughnecks, and Stampeders, I mostly do talk Calgary sports on my YouTube channel, but I also do personal vlogs and attempt to comedy, and I also do share my experiences. Let's say I'm on the road, or at a sport event, or for example, past Grey Cups, Grey Cup halftime shows that I like to just capture where I have it, just so I have it to preserve the memory. So that's all on my channel. So if that all sounds like you'd be interested to watch, to follow along with this Calgary sports fan's journey, you know what you need to do. Just make sure you hit like, subscribe. I also have my other social media links down in the description below for other ways you can follow me with this Calgary sports fan's journey. So as I say here, go Stamps go, and I'll see you in the next video.